And good morning again. Well, the big news of the morning, General Colin Powell told Tom Brokaw this morning that he will vote for Barack Obama because he said the McCain campaign has been too polarizing, that he questioned Senator McCain's judgment in picking Sarah Palin as his running mate, and he says attempts by the McCain campaign to connect Obama to former Vietnam protester Bill Ayers is inappropriate. We want to ask our Republicans who are guests this morning about this. I want to go first to Governor Blunt down in Missouri. Governor, yesterday Barack Obama drew record crowds when he appeared in St. Louis, more than 100,000 people there. He drew 75,000 in Kansas City, I am told. What about this endorsement this morning by Colin Powell? Is this going to make a difference?
I don't know that it will make a difference in Missouri. You know, Missourians admire Colin Powell for his many years of service to our country, but in the end, they're going to evaluate where the candidates are on issues that are important to them: taxes, growing our economy, creating more wealth rather than redistributing existing wealth, protecting innocent life, protecting Second Amendment rights, and all those issues. Senator McCain obviously lines up with the values of Missourians. And obviously, there was a tremendous crowd yesterday for Senator Obama. I've heard some differing numbers, perhaps a smaller crowd than might have been reported, but I don't know that we need to quibble over numbers. He obviously has a great celebrity status, drew a couple 100,000 people in Berlin, Germany. So he is a global celebrity, draws big crowds. That doesn't always translate into votes. In Pennsylvania, they had tens of thousands of people marching through the streets of Philadelphia, but still ended up losing that state by 10 points to Senator Clinton.
What about you, Rob Portman, out there in Ohio? You're a former congressman from Ohio. You were George Bush's budget director. Do you think this is going to make a difference in Ohio?
Well, Bob, I don't think it makes a big difference. Endorsements are typically overrated, I think, but Colin Powell is well respected. I was interested to see that he said this morning he thought either man would be a good president. It didn't surprise me a lot because I've heard General Powell talk about both candidates. He says he respects both men. But he's always had a special admiration for Senator Obama. So I think what's more important is what Governor Blunt's talking about, which is where are they on the issues. As you know, there are a relatively small number of people who are undecided at this point, and those folks are looking at the economy, their jobs. They're wondering which candidate has the best proposal to help them keep their health care, keep their jobs. And I think what's been good about the campaign over the last couple of weeks is we've begun to see more focus on the sharp differences between the two candidates on those issues. I think that's how folks will make their decisions on November 4th.
What's your assessment of where Ohio is right now? Most of the polls show it is very, very close.
I think it is, Bob. The most recent poll is the Rasmussen showing it at a dead heat, 49-49. If you look over the last couple of weeks, you know, the average of all the polls is within the margin of error. So it's going to be very close again. It was very close in 2004. You know, George Bush won by 118,000 votes. Which is one reason folks are so concerned about the integrity of this election. You've heard a lot of talk in Ohio, as you know, about the fact that some people who have registered do not have matches with federal or state databases, and there are over 200,000 people apparently out of the 600 and some thousand who have newly registered who have some of these discrepancies. So there's a lot of focus in Ohio today on being sure that the integrity of the election is upheld.
All right. Well, let me go to Governor Kane of Virginia, who's with us in the studio this morning. I understand you're here in Washington because this is Parents' Day at George Washington University. You have a son who's there.
He's a freshman, and I'm glad to be with you today, Bob.
Well, thanks for coming. You know, General Powell's announcement is one thing, but overnight there may have been even bigger news, and that was the announcement that, as astounding as it sounds, that the Obama campaign raised a record $150 million in September alone. That breaks the previous record, which he had said of $66 million in August. I mean, right. These figures are just like they're coming from another universe. What's going on here?
Well, they are astounding figures, Bob. You know, it isn't ultimately about dollars, but what the fundraising shows is that there's just a great embrace of Senator Obama's candidacy, and he's raised funds in an interesting way, relying very heavily on small dollar donors, which really is at the core, I think, of the way most Americans would hope that campaigns would be financed. As far as as General Powell's endorsement very important in Virginia for a couple of reasons. General Powell is not seen as a dividing figure, but a uniting figure. And so him vouching for Senator Obama convinces those of us who want to see a greater unification of the nation that he's the right guy. Second, General Powell is not an ideological figure. He's a pragmatic person. And so those of us who are, pragmatists first, who worry about results and just trying to do the right thing and manage government well, I think they'll see the endorsement by General Powell very positively. Finally, it vouches for the senator in terms of that critical issue. We know he has plans to make a change in direction of national security policy. To have the confidence of General Powell in this election is very important. Virginians care about this. We're a state that loves the military, a lot of installations, a lot of folks in service and veterans. And so General Powell's endorsement will mean a lot to Virginians, especially the undecideds and independents.
Let's go quickly down to Florida now. Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Florida, once again, very much in play, Congressman. Do you think Florida is ready this time?
We're ready. We're ready to go to the polls in droves and turn Florida blue. I believe that Barack Obama and Joe Biden will win the state of Florida. They are 5 points up or more in the, at least in the Real Clear Politics poll, which is a summary of polls. They have tremendous momentum. Senator Obama is going to be in the state on Tuesday and will be back a couple of times before Election Day. And I too want to weigh in on Colin Powell's endorsement, because that is going to resonate in Florida in a significant way. We have thousands of military retirees in the state of Florida, and I think what Colin Powell's endorsement does say is it shows that Barack Obama can build bridges across party lines. It's going to be able to reach out and bring in and embrace different ideas, and isn't necessarily cut from one particular cloth. And Colin Powell has incredibly respected foreign policy experience as the former Secretary of State, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs, a war hero. So on military issues and on foreign policy issues, Colin Powell is clearly respected, and that's going to resonate with Floridians. And we're the biggest swing state in the general election, as we usually are.
Well, let me just ask you this. So we know about the problems in voting that we've seen in Florida in the past. Has that been fixed? And when I said, are you ready, I guess that's what I was referring to.
Oh, yeah. No. We are absolutely ready. We have now changed to optical scan voting, and that was embraced in a bipartisan way. Our new governor, Charlie Crist, helped work with my colleague, Congressman Robert Wexler, so we could change all of our counties over to optical scanning, which will allow for a manual recount in the event of a very close election. We have election protection volunteers in all of the precincts that we think we might have a problem. People are going to have to get used to this new voting system. I'm a little bit concerned about the length of the lines, because the turnout's going to be overwhelming. But we do have a system that will be able to make sure we can manually recount, and we have a paper trail now. And that was a bipartisan effort here in Florida, which was really nice.